Om Shanti. In today's Murli, we'll first take the slogan. Baba today says, maintain your spiritual honor and you will not have any feelings of arrogance. Now the thing is, if you really ask somebody whether you want to be free from the feelings of arrogance, they wouldn't say yes immediately, because everybody feels that when I feel arrogant, I don't feel bad, it's always you think high and mighty or higher and mightier of yourself. And so we don't think that feeling of arrogance is the problem. But the thing is, there Baba has made us understand. In Hindi, I will say this first. जहाँ अभिमान होगा वहाँ अपमान की भावना भी होगी. So wherever there is this feeling of arrogance, then there will always be this feeling of feeling insulted also. Because if you give your remote control to somebody else, then they have the power to make you feel high and mighty and respected and valuable. And when you have given it to them, or the situation or your post position, then what happens is they might choose to not operate the remote control in your favor. And then you experience feelings of insult. So wherever there is arrogance, there will be feeling of insult. And there will be feeling of, wherever there is feeling of I am greater than this one, then ultimately there will always be the fear and the feeling that I am less than the other one. So this is how it works. So we say arrogance and insult as like a seesaw. So sometimes, the side of arrogance is higher and sometimes the side of insult is higher. So you keep dwindling between those two sides. Sometimes you feel arrogant, sometimes you feel insulted. Now Baba says, maintain your spiritual honor. Now what is spiritual honor? And so I first explained why feelings of arrogance are a problem. Because when there is a feeling of arrogance, so let's say you did something, some work, and it turned out to be very nicely done and everybody appreciated. And then you felt arrogant about it, that I did the good work. Then what happens? Tomorrow the work doesn't turn out fine. Yes? So there is nobody who makes a century in every game, and there is nobody who does great work all the time. So sometimes your work will turn out fine, sometimes it will not. And then when it doesn't turn out to be fine, then what happens is that you feel that other people are judging me and they passed a comment and then I'm feeling insulted or I was insulted. So Baba says that whenever you move with this idea that I did something and I made this, I created this, it is that feeling of I that makes you arrogant. And then tomorrow that I is not fed, so nobody is feeding your ego, then what happens is you feel insulted. And Baba today says that how do you become free from this feeling of arrogance? When you are in spiritual honor. Now in Hindi, spiritual honor is called Swaman. Okay, so when you are in spiritual honor. Now let's understand another point from the Murli here. in the Murli today, Baba says that in Sangam Yuga, in this confluence age, we are soul conscious and supreme soul conscious. Yes, which is called Atam Abhimani and Parmatam Abhimani. So you cannot become full of spiritual honor, or you cannot become you cannot become soul conscious in Sangam Yuga if you are not supreme soul conscious. Do you understand this? This is a very important point, because only Baba is reminding me of who I am. So if I forget Baba, I cannot remember who I am. Or if you forget Baba, then your soul consciousness will be a little distorted. So let's say I forget Baba, I'm not listening to the Murli, and I say I am a very peaceful soul, then maybe I don't understand what is peace at all, and I'm saying I'm a peaceful soul. Because when I say I'm peaceful, I'm loveful, I'm pure, then the template for all these qualities is Baba. So until and unless I'm in awareness of who Baba is, how he is, I cannot even understand how I am. Because just like the child, when he is born, he gets all his identity from the parent. And the child feels that I'm a nobody without the parent. And when the child gets the identity and slowly, gradually grows up, then he's an individual on his own. Even in the form you fill, you write, I'm so and so, care of so and so, or child of so and so. And I remember that it is very interesting that you cannot do away with that. So you are always addressed as the child of someone, because that is what creates our identity, physical identity, for very, very long. And then slowly, when you grow up, then you have an individual identity of your own. Similarly, when we come to Baba in the confluence age in Sangam Yuga, then Baba defines me. So it is only with Baba that I recognize myself. When I forget Baba, I am lost about myself also. I will say these words, you can keep repeating, I'm peaceful, I'm loveful. But without Baba, without Baba's Murli, without Baba's remembrance, these words won't mean a lot. Yes, that is why even in meditations, when we do meditation, we don't do I am a soul meditation. We do I am a soul child of God meditation. So it's always, you have to bring Baba in the meditation. If you're not bringing Baba in the meditation, that means you're not doing it right, because you're not looking at the one who is bodiless. So how do you know what a bodiless soul looks like? Or how do you know what is your state of peace if you are not able to see that ocean of peace in front of you? So we can only mirror ourselves in Baba until we become, big enough. So until we grow enough and it becomes a sanskar, and we really stabilize ourselves in our soul consciousness, which will not happen until we leave the body. So this whole confluence age, we are soul conscious only when we are with Baba. Or if you're not with Baba, if you're not reading the Murli, if you're not connected in Baba's remembrance, then all that talk about soul consciousness will not go right. So you will be full of ego and you will say that I am a very full of self-respect soul, because you don't even know what self-respect means. So Baba says, I am the mirror, I am the template, and in Sangam Yuga, you are soul conscious and supreme soul conscious. And then when you, for this whole one yug, you practice this, then you kind of become soul conscious, you have your own spiritual identity in place. So that becomes a sanskar. And then in Satyug, when we go, we are naturally soul conscious. There we are not supreme soul conscious. We don't remember Baba's words. No, Baba is not teaching us every day. Baba is not reminding us every day, because he has taught and reminded enough for it to become my sanskar. Okay, so that is how it happens. So when in the slogan today it is said that you maintain your spiritual honor and then you will not have any feelings of arrogance, then when this question of spiritual honor comes, then both these things are involved. Knowing I am a soul and knowing I am Baba's child. Okay, so spiritual honor comes from stabilizing yourself in the fact that I am a soul and I am Baba's child. And when I am Baba's child, I am full. Yes, I am full of love, peace, knowledge, happiness, bliss, power. But I am full because of Baba. Do you get it? So I have everything, you know, I have the answer to everything. I have a solution to everything. I am full of knowledge. I am full of peace, love. I am full of the corrective energy that can change the whole universe. But I am full because of Baba. Yes, and when I have this very clear understanding in my heart that I am full, I am obviously the master ocean of knowledge, master ocean of peace, master ocean of love, master ocean of power, but it is only courtesy Baba. So because it is a gift from Baba, that is why I have this. And so whenever you do something good, you do something right, you're very aware that I'm doing it and probably the person before me cannot see Baba, so they are praising me, but you know that you got it from Baba. So then what you do is you give it to Baba. You got the gift from Baba and the person is praising the gift, whether he is praising your sweet voice, whether he is praising your calm face, whether that person says that you have very good knowledge of things, or whether they are saying that you operate with humility and patience and that is very beautiful in your actions. Whatever they are saying, when you take that compliment, you understand that this is because Baba has given me the gift. And when you remember that, then you are full of love for Baba. When you receive a compliment, you are not full of arrogance. And then, if the opposite happens, if somebody doesn't praise you someday, then you say, you see Baba, what is wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with me. So something wrong with you that people are not impressed today, right? So you understand that it's not your doing. When things go right also, it's not your doing. When things go wrong also, it's not your doing. And there's a very beautiful analogy that in Hindi we say Mahavat. Mahavat means the elephant rider. So when the elephant rider sits on the elephant and he takes the elephant for a stroll, then people give offerings to the elephant. So the elephant has a long trunk, and then somebody will offer a coconut, or somebody will offer some flowers or some fruits, and they will just hang it in the trunk of the elephant. And what does the elephant do? He doesn't discern what came. He just lifts his trunk and gives it to the Mahavat. So he just takes that offering and gives it to the owner, to the rider. And similarly, Baba says, I'm your Mahavat. So you keep walking on my direction, and then whatever comes your way, you just give it to me. You don't take it personally. So then you can be equanimous in fame and defamation, in happiness and sorrow, because you understand that this is not your doing, it's just because of Baba and drama. So this is what keeps you sane, this is what keeps you grounded, and this is what keeps you very distant from the feelings of both arrogance and insult. So this is the slogan that Baba gives, and also the understanding how we cannot be soul conscious in Sangam Yuga if we are not supreme soul conscious. And then the blessing today is very beautiful. Baba says, Baba gives a very beautiful analogy. Baba says that, when there is a seed and then the seed is sown, then you get very beautiful branches and fruits and flowers. And then sometimes or always, people appreciate the plant. They don't appreciate the seed, because the seed is not attractive. The seed is just a seed, right? And then the branches and the twigs and the fruits are very attractive. So Baba says, but a knowledgeful person would know the value of seeds. A knowledgeful person would know that it is that tiny seed which is responsible for this whole creation. And he would take care of the seed. He would water the seed. Now let's say, you have a plant exhibition and everybody is looking at the plant, and everybody is praising the color and the texture and the fragrance and how they have built this whole ambience, and they are praising the plants. But nobody remembers the seed, and the seed is left unwatered. Then what would happen? That whole exhibition will go down in a few days, because that whole creation is because of the seed. And if you forget the seed, you forget to water the seed, then the creation will not last. Similarly, Baba says, and I will tell you, this is a personal experience. Even when, we become BKs, so sometimes, I have seen it with Brahmins also. Very few Brahmins understand Baba well. Very few, very, very few. And sometimes it so happens that even when I'm a BK, a Brahmin, I'm listening to Murli, I'm remembering Baba, I'm following Srimad. If I ask a Brahmin, what is it that makes you love Baba a lot? Then they say, when I came to Baba, I got this success, or I got this gift, or I got this talent, or I got this or that or the other. So it's usually what you got after coming to Baba which becomes your main attraction. And sometimes, people will just say that Baba gave me this and that and the other, and this is why we are very happy to connect with Baba all the time. But then if you look at it that way, what is the difference between Bhakti and Gyan? Because if you ask me, the primary difference between Bhakti, devotion, and Gyan is that in devotion, in Bhakti, God is looked at as the means, not the end. So in Bhakti, God is a means. He is a means, He is a sadhan. And He is a means to your end of material pursuits. So people go, people pray, people beseech, people bow down, people donate, people do charity, people go to big pilgrimages, long distances they cover. They do all of that in Bhakti. And if you really look at it, Baba today says that even in Bhakti, people make a lot of effort. But the main difference between perception about God in Bhakti and in truth is that people think in Bhakti that God is a good means to a good end. So they ask God to give me, child and position and job and money and, fame. So this is how they look at God in Bhakti. And sometimes because we all come from that sanskar of Bhakti, what we do is we transpose that sanskar into Gyan also. And then we said, God becomes Baba, only the language changes. And I will say, when I came to Baba, so this child was born, or, I got this job, or I got concentration, and I was, I got peace, or I got happiness, or I just worked on myself. But that is just, something that you got. But that's not what you really got, or that's not the true thing that you should celebrate. So the main thing is you found Baba. And Baba is the seed. So when you understand you have the seed, you can get the fruit and the flower anytime you want. But our main attainment is the seed, not the fruit and the flower. Because sometimes you get so caught up in the seed, in the fruit, that you forget the seed. And then your relationship with the seed is a little lost. So let me tell you one thing. So there was this sister who came to the center, and she told me that I want to go for a divorce. And I said, so have you come to seek permission from me? If you want to go for a divorce, go for it. So then she said, no, I want you to stop me. So I said, now you want me to stop you, right? So then let's discuss it, right? So then I asked her, because sometimes people will say, I don't want to be stopped and you are stopping. But if you have come and you're sharing it, that means there is an intention that you don't want to get divorced. So then you must recognize that intention, because if you don't recognize the intention, it will not translate into action. So then I told her that, you have to take the divorce anyway. So why don't you just take the course and wait for, a month or two. Just take the course, keep following whatever we are saying, and then wait for a month and two and later decide. And then, she started attending the course, and then her relationship with the husband became sweeter and sweeter and full of acceptance and respect. And then after 2 months, she divorced Baba and chose to stay with her husband all the time. So then when I called her, she told me that, now my relationship is very sweet, and then my husband doesn't allow me to go to the center. And he says that, I miss you when you go to the center, so you probably shouldn't go. And so I said, so you came to divorce the husband and then you divorced Baba. So anyways, divorce is a sanskar with you. So you see that this is how it goes. You get caught up in the fruit. You don't understand that, when the seed, that seed which gave you such an instant fruit, that magical seed, Baba is yours right now. And then you choose to divorce the seed and get caught up in the fruit. And then what is the problem with getting caught up in the twigs and branches and fruit? They are temporary. Yes, they fall off every season. And then what happens is you don't have connection with the seed, and then again your life is bizarre and dry. So Baba says, where there is the seed, there will always be fruit. Where there is the seed, there will always be fruit, very attractive fruit. So you see that personally also I will tell you, I belong to Baba just like you do, and then I feel that I have very good relationships. So even with Baba's children, the relationship is more than fantastic. So lot of love, lot of good relationships. There is everything in Baba's house. There is no issue as such. But then I always understand that this is because of Baba. If I'm able to be humble and sweet and have the capacity to have good relationships also, that is because of Baba. If one day I forget Baba, 2 days I miss Amrit Vela, and then third day I want to be sweet, I can't be. And then it will not be reciprocated. So don't ever forget the seed. What does forgetting the seed mean? Missing Amrit Vela, missing Murli, missing anything that Baba calls his Shrimat, because there is a reason which comes from a situation or a lack of facility or the lack of one person, that is called being caught up in the person or the facility and forgetting the seed. Okay, so always remember my strength, my support, and my attainment. All three are Baba. And when Baba is there, everything else will keep fluctuating, It will always be there. And you don't have to get caught up in that. It's all there. You use it, you be with it. But remember that this is temporary and the seed is Baba. So this is what Baba is saying today. And then Baba talks about the importance of early morning study. So how many of you listen to the Murli in the morning before the Manthan class? Please raise your hand. So before the Manthan class, early morning you listen to the Murli. So there are 2, 3 of you who are raising the hand. Okay, 4, 5 maybe. And then others don't listen to the morning Murli. So you must understand that the study early in the morning is very, very important. And listening it from Baba directly, listening to the Murli is very important. Because however much we do Manthan, it can never be a substitute for Murli. Yes. And there are 2 things about study which we have to adhere to. One is regular study. Every day Murli. Not even one day I can miss Murli. Do you understand that people say God knows better? And if God knows better and He gives a Murli every day, that means it is important that we listen to the Murli every day. God wouldn't do anything extra. He does everything accurate. So if Baba is giving me a Murli every day, that means there is relevance of a Murli every day. And regular study is the sign of a good student. Every day Murli. Second thing is punctuality. Never miss meethe bacche, sweet children, never miss that. So the first, before the first, first word that Baba speaks, I should be present for the Murli. And only then you get, so if if you miss Baba calling out to you as sweet children, what did you get in the Murli then? Yes, so regularity, punctuality, and then there are other things, which is listening to the Murli, not just hearing it. Listening to what Baba has got to tell me today. And then holding in your heart, holding that teaching in your heart and in your awareness, and operating from that awareness all day. Because in yesterday's manthan we were discussing how Ravan or Maya has made our awareness shift, and Ravan and Maya has filled our buddhi with the dictates of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. And if we want to be free from sorrow, if we want to not perform actions under the influence of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, then Murli and the teachings and the versions of Baba in the Murli will give me the strength to overcome these powerful belief systems which emerge from the dictates of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. So there are many belief systems which emerge from these 5 vices. And if you want to overcome those belief systems and consequently not engage in actions which emerge from these 5 vices, then you have to pay attention to the Murli. So Baba says, this study is going to make you the King of Kings. This study is going to make us go home. This study is being given to us by Baba himself. These things, if we hold in our heart, then we will give importance to the Murli. And then today Baba cautions us against Maya. And Baba says, I not only teach you, I also caution you. And today Baba cautions us against listening to, ulti sulti baatein. So Baba says, in Hindi it is ulti sulti baatein. So Baba says that sits here, Baba says, children, be careful. Don't be influenced by bad company. People will tell you wrong things. They will make you afraid and stop you from studying. Good company takes you across, whereas bad company drowns you. And you see, bad company means everything, because I told you yesterday that even your body is speaking the voice of Ravan. So everything, whatever you see, whatever you hear, is a voice of Ravan in the world. And Baba says, if you are listening to them, if you are observing them, if you are, attached to them, then they will take you away from Baba. Yes, and there is one sister, and her husband says that I'm suffering because, there is, you are practicing purity. And then she tells me, Didi, he is suffering. I said, nobody can suffer because of purity. Don't you get it? It's not, he's suffering from his belief system. He's not suffering from purity. So she said, sometimes, it feels like you would die because I'm staying in purity, or, he acts like that. So I said, that's not your problem. Your problem is you are attached to him. So, if you're attached to vicious souls, if you're attached to souls who are under the influence of vices, if you're attached to situations and you're attached to this feeling of profit and loss, if you're caught up in fame and insult, then these attachments will take you away from Baba. Because Baba is on the opposite side. Baba is, against lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. So Baba says, if you attach your hearts there and you listen to those things, those opinions, those value systems, then what happens is that will influence you. So this is one caution that Baba is giving us today. And then Baba says, here you have the company of the true Father, and you even make a promise that you would only listen to the One and only obey the orders of the One. So you may hear many people, many things all through the day, but listening has to be limited to Baba. Yes, you may be with many people, but just obey Baba. So obedience and your heart which listens. The ear hears and the heart listens. You hear through your ears and you listen through your heart. So if your heart is not with anyone else, then you will not listen to anybody else. And and Baba says today that obedience, so my allegiance and obedience has to be with one. I belong to Baba, I don't belong to anyone else. I'm not answerable to anyone else. So I don't have to be obedient to anyone else. So Baba says, you make this promise to me that my heart is only for you, I only listen to you, and I only obey you. And Baba says, these two promises when you make, then this will protect you from the influence of bad company. And you see that in the world everybody is vicious, they don't know better than that, so they will always prod you towards the vicious path. And when you select the vicious path, then you will not be able to listen to Baba, because then you will feel guilty listening to the Murli. And then slowly, gradually, that Murli's listening will stop. I will tell you one very close incident. So, there is this one brother and he's a relative of mine. So, he, from his childhood, he was vegetarian. And then, he got married to a girl, and then she used to eat non-vegetarian food. And then she kept telling her that, you will have lack of protein, and then you might have some weakness or illness in later life. And then he started eating non-vegetarian food. And then ever since he started doing that, he is not talking to me. So he just stopped talking to me, because, when you are doing the opposite, you try to create a distance between, yourself and the other opposite. So this is what happens. This is why when you don't listen to Baba, you get influenced by bad company. Then what happens is they start coloring you and you start distancing from Baba. But ultimately all that bad company will make you only suffer, and your strength and support will be distant from you. So this is why Baba says, and when company starts coloring, it is very difficult to grow distant from it. So you have to stay distant from this company always. Don't give your heart, don't form your allegiance with anybody, because if you do that, they will start influencing you, and then the distance from Baba will become very natural. Okay, Om Shanti.